Hi, we want to take you along to see some of the best Indian ruins in the United States. First to Mesa Verde in Colorado, and then here in Hovenweep, which is in Utah.
Hey folks, it's good to see you again. We are the Redhead and The Preacher, and we're full-time RVers from Dallas, Texas. Hey, hit the subscribe button there and then ring the bell and you'll be notified of all of our latest videos. Linda's got something great for you planned. Let's get going.
Mesa Verde means green table. It is our best known of all of our national parks for cliff dwellers. The Pueblo people lived here for over 750 years, and it covers over 52,000 acres and has over 600 cliff dwellings. It has a really great visitor center here. This is where you will purchase your tickets that are $5 a person for the ranger-led tours. It does cost $25 to enter the park.
The drive up to the Mesa Loop is beautiful. It's 20 miles before you actually get to the ruins. But all along the way are these incredible overlooks. The first one that you come to is the Montezuma Overlook. This gives you a most incredible view of this part of the world, unique to this area of the United States. These are views that you will not want to miss along the way. The next one is the Fire Lookout Tower. It's the highest point along the way, and it's 8,572 feet. I hope you will not be in a hurry to get to the ruins, because the drive along here, the 20-mile drive that takes you along here, has many overlooks like that and will give you incredible places and things to see.
The geologic overlook is different because it's well known for its wildflowers in all different colors that bloom here and the beautiful views in the distance. We loved it because when we were here last time, we did see a black bear.
15 miles into your trip, you will come to Farview Terrace. This far into the trip, I think it will be a welcome stop here for a gift shop, a restaurant, cool air, and certainly most needed of all, restrooms.
And then the next thing is the museum, which is really good. And right across the road from the museum is the best picnic location where we had our lunch.
After lunch, we went to the Spruce Tree House. This is Mesa Verde's best preserved and third largest cliff dwelling. It was built in the 13th century. It's built into a natural alcove, and it has 130 rooms, 8 kivas, and probably housed as many as 80 people.
And of course, the best known of all of the cliff dwellers is the Cliff Palace. It's not necessary to have a ranger-led tour here. You can walk down to the overlook and get a picture just like this. We did this a few years ago. It is not an easy tour. There's steps down, and then you climb a ladder, 4 ladders back up, but you do have beautiful views into the cliff dwellings. You can see from this picture where you begin on the 4 ladders down below and end at the top. It's very hot down in the canyon and very little shade, and so if you want to look weird but be safe, is wear a hat like us and carry lots of water. And then the Hemingway house has beautiful views that you can look out and see the ruins there.
Once you finish with the ruins, you have this drive back. Just one more look at the mountains in the distance as we drove back.
Hovenweep. It means deserted valley. This was a hike that we were really anxious to take.
Of course, it is a deserted valley today, but over 800 years ago, it was a thriving community of Pueblo Indians.
They built pit houses where they lived, and they built ceremonial rooms or kivas, but most of the building was done between 1230 to 1275.
The great thing about their building is the masonry work. Those people on site and the archaeologists love to point out how good and careful their work is. They built D-shaped towers, square towers, and round towers, and the round towers all have very smooth stones. The inside of their buildings were plastered and painted.
They were a neighborhood of farmers, and they mainly grew corn, beans, and squash, and they still grow beans in this area today. And they fed enough people here for 100 and to 150, and they ate small animals and wild plants and they had enough corn that they stored some for the next year.
There's a 2-mile hike around the rim, and we did do that day to see all of the sights. It was a very hot day. The hike is difficult. At one point, it's 80 feet down into the canyon and 80 feet back up.
I think Bruce had to almost drag me back up out of that canyon. It was so hot. There's very little shade. So we would warn you, make sure you bring plenty of water and wear a hat. There is no shade.
At the end of the 13th century, they seemed to disappear from this area, but it is thought that they moved from here to Arizona and New Mexico.
Thanks for coming along with us as we visited all these Indian ruins that have been so interesting. I hope we've given you some ideas of places to visit in southern Colorado and southern Utah.
Hey, we're so glad to have had you with us. Remember, subscribe so you'll be notified of all of our latest videos. We're so glad that you came along. God bless you all, and remember, may God bless America.